Hey everybody, thank you so very much for visiting us here at Cooking with G Dubs, and I'm your host G Dubs. What I'm going to cook for you today is an Italian dish called chicken Vesuvio. And it's a really good, delicious dish that you and your family are going to absolutely love like mine will. All right, so without further delay, let's get started. Let me introduce you to what we're going to be working with. We're going to be, I have for you some white potatoes, as you see here. And then we have over here in the front, we have our broccoli. I have some white wine. Of course, I have my Èpís. And I have my Italian herbs. And what I have here is dried basil, parsley, and oregano, as you see here. Really nice. Then I have some skinless and boneless chicken breast and also chicken thighs together. I have some chicken broth, and I have my Himalayan sea salt, and I have my red peppers and orange bell peppers chopped up, and then I also have some red onions. Okay, so now it's time for us to get started. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off by chopping up our potatoes. We're going to chop them up and make them into little cubes, so then that way we can be able to saute them real quickly on top of the stove. So what we're going to do is we're going to chop them up. I did 3 slices and 1 down the middle because I want to make it nice and chunky. All right, again, we'll take it. Slice them up, and then go right down the middle. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead on and slice the rest of them up, and we'll be right back. All right, so now I have my potatoes chopped up. As you can see here, I have them chopped up in cubes. All right, so then that way we could cook them up and it'll be nice and scrumptious and tasty and all of that. All right, so now while we go to sit this to the side, we're going to season up our chicken. All right, and as you see here, I have a half a cup of my Èpís. I'm gonna put it in the chicken. Then I'm going to use approximately a half a tablespoon of salt. Okay, and then we're going to mix it up. Okay, so we have our chicken nice and seasoned, right? So then what we're going to do is we're going to slide over to our skillet. We'll turn our heat on. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our olive oil, put it in here, coat the bottom of our skillet really well. And then we're going to take our second skillet for our potatoes, and we're going to season that up really well. And what we're going to do here is we're going to season up our potatoes, okay? And we're going to season it up really well, and we're going to use our Italian herbs to give a nice rich herb flavor to it, okay? All right, let me take my glove off real quick. I'll toss this to the side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of olive oil while our pan is getting hot. Put a little olive oil on our potatoes. And then we're going to just take, this is just 1 teaspoon of the herbs. Sprinkle it on our potatoes. We'll take another one. So there's a total of 2 teaspoons of the fresh herbs. And we're going to take a little bit of salt. Put some salt on our potatoes. We're going to mix them together. And then we're going to mix them and mix them. And make sure you coat everything. Make sure a little bit of that herb is all over your potatoes. So then that way, it'll be absolutely delicious. Okay? So now we have our potatoes going. Then we're going to just roast it just for a few minutes. We're gonna saute that for a minute. And now our heat for our chicken is nice and hot. And what we're gonna do is take our chicken. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna sear it. We just wanna sear it on each side, okay? Till it get a little brown. And then after we're gonna take it out. Okay? I'm gonna let this go for a little bit. Put a little bit more olive oil so it doesn't stick to the bottom. We're gonna let this sit for a few minutes. Okay, now what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna take our chicken, turn it over. And sear it really well. And let's check on our potatoes. Just want to roast them up a little bit. Give a nice crust on the outside, and then we're going to put it in the oven. And I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. All right? So we're gonna let this sear a little bit, and then we're gonna take this out, and then we're gonna do our next batch of chicken the same way. All right? All right. So now, see, look at how our chicken looks. Nice and crispy, right? Nice and pan seared. So now what we're gonna do is take it out, set it to the side. And you remember we were multitasking, and our potatoes are looking pretty good too. We roasted it up real quick. So now, since this is nice and hot, we're going to saute some onions in the grease. Take some of our onions, some of our peppers, throw it in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken broth, pour it in. We're going to let this boil for a little bit. And we're going to take our potatoes, and then we're going to put our potatoes in another pan, our baking dish. All right. And then what we're going to do is we'll set this to the side. And then we're going to take our chicken, place it right on top of the potatoes. And I'm going to show you how this thing looks. When you see it, you're going to go like, ooh, wow. And if you have a big family like mine and you don't want your kids to fight over the food, just slice up the chicken, the small pieces, and then that way everybody could be able to get what they need. Okay, and then what we're going to also do is we're going to take our broccoli, and this here is from frozen broccoli that I had in the fridge. So then that way this will be a total meal. You'll have your protein, your carbs, everything all mixed together. Starting to storm out here. Oh boy. Okay. Now we're having everything just sweating together. Needs just a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'll take a little bit of herbs, put that in there, a little bit of that. Take a little bit of salt. Not much. And then we'll stir this together. Then we're going to get our wine. Put a little bit of wine. And this I have the little small white wine that you get at your local grocery store. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to use about half of it. And the wine is going to cook out. The alcohol is going to cook out, and then it's going to give a really, really nice, rich flavor to our dish. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that to a boil. And what I would like you to see, look at what it looks like. Doesn't that look good? Then I'm gonna bring my sauce to a boil. And then we're gonna put it on and we're gonna put it in the oven for 30 minutes. And within that time, the potatoes should get nice and tender and we're ready to plate. We'll be right back. Okay, now it's time for us to check the taste of our gravy. Oh man. Woo! It is perfect. Time to pour it on. Ooh, my family's gonna love this. All right, now it's ready. Look at that, see how it looks? Now I'm gonna put it in the oven for 30 minutes. So I preheated my oven for 400 degrees for 30 minutes. All right, we're gonna set our timer and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, my dish is complete. Now look at that. Look how it looks on the plate. Chicken Vesuvio. A really good, delicious Italian dish. Your family's gonna love it. Let me tell you how it tastes. The potatoes are nice and firm. It's not super soft. It has some texture to it, which is good, which is what you want. Absolutely delicious. And the wine gives a nice little flavor to it. Oh man, it's absolutely delicious. And with the broccoli, the flavor is all throughout. Let me get a piece of this chicken. It's on point. It's on point. Chicken Vesuvio. Here with Cooking with G-Dubs. I'm so glad you was able to check us out. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. Click the notification bell so when I put out a new recipe, you'll be the first to get it. All right, thank you so very much for checking me out. Cooking for G-Dubs. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell somebody you love and care about our dishes, how we cook healthy dishes, real easy, real quick, and your family will enjoy it. All right, until next video.